In the beginning, before the dust of creation stirred and before the stars sang their first songs, there was silence. A silence so complete it felt like eternity itself was holding its breath. And from that silence came him, the light. His voice carved the void into shape. His words split nothing into everything. Galaxies spiraled into motion, suns ignited, and 1,000 worlds bowed before his brilliance. Among the firstborn of his creation were the angels, beings made of flame and sound, perfect in form, endless in praise. But there was one whose voice rose louder than the others. His name was Sariel, the flame of dawn, radiant, fierce, beloved of the Creator. When he sang, heaven trembled with beauty. Yet in his heart something began to grow, something silent and poisonous. He wondered, why must all light bend toward one? Why must all glory return to him? The thought was small at first, a whisper in the dark corners of his mind, but whispers can grow into storms. Sariel began to wander the edges of heaven, where the light dimmed and the stars thinned into shadow. There he found something the Creator had left untouched, a void, empty and waiting. And in that emptiness he saw his reflection, not as a servant, but as a god. He whispered to the shadows, "If I am made in his light, am I not light myself?" The void answered with silence, and Sariel mistook that silence for consent. He began to speak to the others, not openly, not yet, but softly, cleverly. "Brothers, sisters," he said, "does he not call us children? Then why must children never inherit the throne?" At first they laughed, uneasy laughter, nervous and fragile. But some listened, a few nodded, and those few became many. He told them, "The light blinds us so that we never see how bright we truly are." And so the first sin was not hatred, it was ambition disguised as enlightenment. When the rebellion finally came, it was not a clash of swords but of voices, thunder clashing with thunder. Heaven shook, mountains of light cracked, rivers of fire turned black. Sariel rose, wings wide as the horizon, his eyes burning with defiance. He shouted, "I will not kneel, I will rise, I will make my own throne upon the stars." And for the first time in eternity, heaven heard war. The faithful cried out. The Creator's command split the skies. "If you will not serve the light, then you will fall beneath it." And so the angels who followed Sariel were cast down, their brilliance twisted, their wings torn from light into smoke. As they fell, Sariel screamed not in pain but in pride. And as he hit the void, a new name was carved into eternity, Lucifer, the fallen dawn. He awoke in darkness, the kind that swallows sound and hope. No stars, no songs, only endless cold. He raised his eyes to the heavens, where once he had stood, and whispered, "You did not banish me, Father. You freed me." And from that moment, darkness learned to speak. It spoke to men in their pride, to kings in their greed, to prophets in their fear. It built kingdoms of gold and graves. It whispered to those who dreamed of power and taught them how to pray to their own reflections. Lucifer's fall became humanity's inheritance, the echo of rebellion in every heart. Yet even in the darkest pit, he could not escape the memory of the light. And that was his true punishment, not fire, not torment, but remembrance, for every shadow knows what it once was. A fragment of light that turned away. Moral: the brightest fall comes not from hate, but from pride. And the greatest rebellion begins with the smallest whisper, "Why not me?"